Hey guys, Comic Boom here to review Wonder Woman issue 63. I gotta say, I really like this variant cover. It's kind of cool. It's a real nice variant cover again. I'm gonna focus on the variant cover because I don't got much to say about the story. The variant cover is done by Kamome Shirahama. Really good stuff. Really great stuff. And the normal cover, or the standard cover, is pretty good. That's done by Zermanico. Zermanico did the normal cover, and then the pencilers, Emmanuel Lapacino, did the pencils inside. The art is pretty good on the inside. All around the art, artistically, it's very well done. The cover basically says it all. It is, she did this, Wonder Woman brought these monsters here. This is basically an issue which purports to talk about, I guess, prejudice against immigrants. In this issue, of course, the immigrants are disgusting animals. And I guess I'm bigoted against disgusting animals. Apparently, you're not supposed to be offended when a talking, smelly, disgusting horse comes and sits beside you in a fancy restaurant. You're not allowed to complain, otherwise that makes you a jerk. I don't really get it here. This satyr, this Pegasus horse, this disgusting-looking minotaur basically comes and they... Why do we care about them trying to get... What? They're trying to go through immigration? Why? What does this have to do with the story? What's the point of this, J. Willow Wilson? I mean, I can guess, and you're trying to very forcefully tell a story about what, immigration and what, prejudice? I mean, this is, and you're focusing on three genuinely disgusting looking creatures who claim that they're from Themyscira. They can't be from Themyscira. Last time I checked, Themyscira didn't have a minotaur on it, Pegasus horse on it, or a satyr on it. I don't know, a goat creature. I don't know. Maybe they do live on Themyscira, but that's not obvious to me. I thought they were from Olympus. That's what it was established in previous issues. So why are you changing it up? Did you sort of, I don't know, did your editor screw up or did you forget what you wrote in the previous issues? Which is it? I don't know. In any event, most of this issue is spent just focusing on these three creatures bitching and whining about having to flee Themyscira because apparently, I'm assuming that when the same explosion, the same event that transported Ares, that killed Ares, when Grail hit Ares with the Godkiller sword, and Ares was transported, and they ended up in Durovnia, where the civil war ensued, that a lot of the creatures were transported from Themyscira / Olympus. They were transported to Durovnia, and now they're trying to get into the United States. They got to go through immigration, and they're into this new world, and they don't like the fact, typical, I guess typical immigrant is the way J. Willow Wilson is writing them. Is this a typical immigrant? Does the average immigrant, when they get really upset, when they come to the border, when they get really, really upset, do they cause violence and smash through the buildings, smash windows, cause violence, and flee into the city like these three anthropomorphic creatures do? I don't know. I guess, is J. Willow Wilson trying to tell us that immigrants are terrorists? And that some of them, maybe, are good people, to quote the president? Really? This is, makes me wonder here. Fortunately, at least in my experience, the vast majority of people from other countries that immigrate to Canada are very nice. They're not as violent as these disgusting, smelly creatures from Themyscira are. The goat creature, the bull creature Minotaur, and the Pegasus winged horse. Rude, disgusting, violent causing, frankly terrorist-like individuals that probably should be put in jail. Wonder Woman, though, in typical fashion, picks them up, drops them off, leaves them there. They've already showed themselves to be violent, prone individuals. She just drops them off and she wanders off. I don't know where the hell she's going. She's going to try to get get somebody who she thinks that can help. And of course, stupidly, she decides she's going to go and get Ferdinand, who is a Kithotor, not a Minotaur, but J. Willow Wilson, I guess, doesn't know that. because Ferdinand, this other Minotaur, prefers to be called a Kithator. And because he is familiar supposedly with being discriminated against because he looks like a disgusting walking bull, which would disgust anybody out. Apparently, he's going to help these three anthropomorphic mythological creatures, fit into man's world. Now, I guess in the DC universe, that's a thing. And I guess I'm just a jerk because how dare I? If I lived in the DC universe, would I be accustomed to seeing, disgusting looking creatures walking around like this and, a talking, smelly horse? Would you be offended if you were in a restaurant and a shit-smelling horse came and sat down beside you and had wings and took up all this space, and sounded like a horse and talked? I mean, really, would you really be upset? Would it be surprising if the people in the restaurant were disgusted by that and said, "Get that out of here"? I wouldn't. Get it out of there. It's an animal. But apparently, this is, if you're trying to make a statement about prejudice and bigotry, this ain't it. Either that, or I guess, I think horses are majestic animals. But I tell you what, when I go out for a nice steak dinner, I don't want the horse actually beside me, at the table beside me, eating hay. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the hell's the point of this, J. Willow Wilson? Really? The humor in this, these are three creatures of myth, being violent, being unreasonable, engaging in violent behavior. No wonder they should be arrested, they should be detained, they should be incarcerated, they should be in jail. Wonder Woman trusts them. Wonder Woman, in my view, is also breaking the law and not respecting the law, because Wonder Woman herself should be incarcerating them. And this just is a significant miss. The only point of the issue that's worth reading is basically the last 3 pages with Veronica Cale. Now, this is why this is by far the most interesting aspect of the story, which unfortunately, given how this issue is written, I don't think J. Willow Wilson's going to be focusing on it too much, which is unfortunate because it's the most important part, and that is Veronica Cale. Now, Veronica Cale, for those of you who don't know, Veronica Cale's daughter is essentially, she's living out life on Themyscira. So if all these creatures from Themyscira are suddenly in our world, well, then it's possible that maybe Veronica Cale's daughter no longer has to remain on Themyscira, that maybe she can visit her daughter. If Themyscira is suddenly accessible and people can come and go from Themyscira, if these creatures of myth can come and go from Themyscira, maybe her daughter can too, and that's important to know for Themyscira. In any event, there's another creature, this Nemesis character, that is being held captive by Veronica Cale, and this Nemesis character, I'm assuming, is probably linked to the same event that released the gods from that basically released the gods from Themyscira, or at least released the gods from Olympus, because Olympus was destroyed during the witching hour, and Ares was basically killed on Themyscira by Grail using the God Killer sword. Aphrodite was reborn, Ares was reborn, and it appears this creature Nemesis was reborn that's being held captive by Veronica Cale. And that's interesting because I really like to see Veronica Cale get her daughter back and have that relationship improved, because Wonder Woman was a complete bitch to Veronica Cale. Wonder Woman in many ways was kind of the villain in Rucka's run, the way she treated Veronica Cale, which I thought was inexcusable. Veronica Cale, don't get me wrong, was villainous toward Wonder Woman, but Wonder Woman made no attempt and has not showed any kind of compassion toward Veronica Cale, even though Veronica Cale clearly deserves it, but yet Wonder Woman will get on her knees and supplicate herself to enemies like Ares and let Ares go, and the hypocrisy of Wonder Woman is absolutely astonishing, and Veronica Cale deserves a little bit, she deserves a better showing, quite frankly, and she deserves a little bit more respect, quite frankly. And put these three anthropomorphic creatures in there, put them in jail. I have this thing about law and order. When you go to another country, you don't cause chaos, you don't damage property, you hurt other people, you don't attack them. And if your feelings get hurt, you don't freak out. Come on, give me a break. Good God. Anyways, this issue is kind of a little bit of a miss for me. Tell me what you guys think. I hope it improves. You could probably skip this issue entirely, because I don't think it's really that important that we know what happened to a bunch of animals. So let me know what you think. Follow me on Twitter at Metropolis40, and until next time, Comic Boom out.